Hi, this is Amy Romeo from the jewelry making and craft blog amyromeo.com, and on this channel I like to share fun and easy jewelry making and craft projects. And boy do I have a fun craft project for you today. Whether you love it or you hate it, pumpkin spice coffee tells us that fall is here, and I am super excited about it. So today I'll be showing you how to make these really cute fall pumpkin spice coffee earrings using faux leather, heat transfer vinyl, and a Cricut. Applying heat transfer vinyl to faux leather is one of my favorite ways to create really fun and unique designs, and I'll have my original SVG for you available in my shop if you want to craft along with me. So if you're ready to learn how to make these really cute and festive fall earrings, let's get started. Let's go over the tools and materials I'll be using to make these cute pumpkin spice coffee earrings with faux leather, heat transfer vinyl, and a Cricut. I'll be using the Cricut Maker, but you could use the Maker 3, the Explore Air 2, the Explore 3, or the Cricut Joy. I'll let you know throughout the video if there's any little adjustments you need to make or something you need to do differently if you're using one of those machines. Speaking of which, if you're using the Joy, at the time I'm recording this, there's no purple mat, so you'll use the green mat that came with the Joy when you're cutting faux leather and heat transfer vinyl. But since I'm using the Maker, I'll use the purple strong grip mat to cut my faux leather and the green mat to cut my heat transfer vinyl. I'll be using the Easy Press Mini, but you could also use a traditional Easy Press. When we get to the pressing part, I'll let you know about the temperatures for both. And the faux leather I'm using, there are so many great fall colors, so really it's up to you what you want to pick, but I wanted to show you lots of good solid fall color choices, and also there's some really cute prints, and I'll leave links to these faux leathers and all the materials that I'm showing you in the description below. I'll also be using some heat transfer vinyl. I'm going to use some glitter heat transfer vinyl, some solid heat transfer vinyl, and some foil iron-on to put on the back of the earrings. But again, you don't need all of these. I'm just showing you an assortment. As we go through the tutorial, you'll see which ones I choose, and then you can see what you have on hand or what you want to purchase as well. I'll be using some regular earring hooks and some 6mm jump rings to attach the earring hooks. I have my little 1/16 inch hole punch, which I like to use when I need to make the earring hole punch a little cleaner in the faux leather. I have my two pair of flat nose pliers, my small curved scissors. I love these for trimming small areas of faux leather. And then for pressing, I'll be using my heat pressing pad and also a little Teflon sheet that I've cut down to size. You could also use butcher paper or parchment paper. So finally, you need the SVG for this project, which is in my shop. I will link it for you below in the description. And I also have a few other cute related fall coffee and pumpkin SVGs, and I will show you all of them together at the end of this video, and I'll leave links for all of those SVGs in my shop for you in the description. So let's go ahead and hop into Cricut Design Space and get started on this cute pumpkin earring project. So once you've purchased the SVG from my shop, you'll receive an email with a link to download the SVG, and it'll be inside of a zipped folder. So you'll need to unzip the folder before you can access the loose SVG file. Then you'll click on Upload Image in Design Space and browse to where the unzipped SVG file is located, and you'll click on it to bring it here into your canvas. It'll be right here in the Recent Uploads row, and I'll click on that to select it and click Add to Canvas. And you'll see there is a version of this SVG with pre-cut holes and without pre-cut holes. If you're going to be changing the size of your earrings, then you'll want to use the without holes version. These little earring holes are already appropriately sized for the size of this earring design. So if you change the size, you'll need to make new earring holes or punch your own earring holes. I have a video all about how to create your own earring holes if you're changing the size of designs, and I'll link to that for you. So in this video, I'm going to be using the with holes version. So I want to delete these other SVGs. So I'll click on Ungroup, and then I'll select the designs that I don't want to cut, and I'll click Delete. And then now you'll see on the Layers panel, we're left with 4 different layers. So the bottom layer, which is the actual cup, that will cut from faux leather. The little brown wrapper for the coffee cup will cut from regular heat transfer vinyl. I will cut this pumpkin from glitter heat transfer vinyl, and I'll also cut the white foam from glitter heat transfer vinyl. So since I'm cutting two of these materials that are the same, I can cut them on the same mat if I want to. And the way I do that is by clicking on Color Sync. And what I'm going to do is drag the shapes that are going to cut on the same mat from the same material. I can drag them together. So here I'll drag the glitter foam up to the glitter pumpkin. And now all of my glitter heat transfer vinyl shapes will cut from the same mat. This just saves some time. You'll see it does change the color of the design over here, but don't worry about that. When we set up our mat, we will make sure that we know which design we're cutting from which material. So I'm not going to make any changes to the size of the design. I'll just go ahead and click the Make It button. And I'll be cutting these materials on a mat. And here I'll see my mat preview screens for the three different mats: the faux leather mat, the regular heat transfer vinyl mat, and the glitter heat transfer vinyl mat. The first step is to go through and click Mirror on all of your mats, because these are materials that cut in reverse. I'll click back here on the faux leather layer, and I'm just going to drag these shapes apart just a tiny bit, and I'll make a note of what size material I want to cut and put down on my mat. It looks like I want a piece of material, a piece of faux leather about 3 inches square. I'll do the same thing for the other two mats. I like to space them apart a little bit. And this is the mat where we will be cutting from two different colors of glitter heat transfer vinyl. So I'm going to place them on separate places on the mat, again dragging them apart a little bit. So I'll place some orange glitter heat transfer vinyl in this corner of the mat and some white glitter heat transfer vinyl in the corner of this mat. But first I'll cut the faux leather mat, so let me click back on that one and I'll click Continue. The material setting I use to cut faux leather across all 5 Cricut machines that I mentioned at the beginning of this video is faux leather paper thin. If you're using the Explore Air 2, you'll need to turn your dial to custom before you're able to choose this setting. I have it here selected as a favorite, but if you don't, you can click on Browse All Materials and search for it. Even though our faux leather is not paper thin, this is a really good setting that I get great results with for faux leather, so that's what I use most of the time. So I'll click on faux leather, and this is an important step. I always increase the pressure to more. So I'm going to cut the faux leather mat first, but I wanted to show you when I get ready to cut the regular heat transfer vinyl mat, I like to use either the everyday iron-on setting or the washi sheet setting. It's really up to you and depends on the material that you're using. And then when I'm cutting the glitter heat transfer vinyl mat, I will use the glitter vinyl setting with default pressure. And the glitter I'm using is Caesar brand, which is pretty thick. So normally I repeat the cut at least one time. So let's click back here. Make sure our setting is faux leather paper thin with more pressure. And we'll start to prepare our mats and get our materials cut out. So I've already cut my faux leather down to size, that 3 by 3 inches that I saw on the mat preview in Cricut Design Space, and I've pressed foil iron-on to the back. This is one way to put a back on faux leather earrings. There's actually 4 different very common ways, and I have a YouTube video going over the 4 different ways. I'll link to that for you if you want to learn this technique. This technique of putting the iron-on or the heat transfer vinyl on the back of the faux leather before you cut is technique number 2 in that video. So I'm going to put this pretty side down right in the location that I saw on the mat preview screen. Again, if you're using the Cricut Joy, you'll do this just with the green mat. And then I'm going to put some blue painter's tape all around. I'll load the mat in the machine and we'll begin the cut. So the faux leather paper thin cut setting is actually a double cut, so it did cut the shapes twice, but I still like to check and make sure that the cut went all the way through. If not, we can repeat the cut. So I like to use my sharp weeding tool and just get in here and see if the cut went through cleanly, which it looks like it did. But if it didn't, then I could just press the cut button again and it will repeat the cut. You can do that as many times as needed as long as you don't unload the mat. If you're using the Cricut Joy, the option to rerun the cut will be on your screen in Design Space, since the Joy doesn't have any buttons. But I'll go ahead and unload the mat because this cut looks good. And you can see where the Cricut made the little mark for the hole. If the hole didn't go all the way through, that's okay. We'll use our little hole punch to finish off the hole. So I've just removed the little shapes and I'll put those to the side, and we'll go back and we'll cut our vinyl mats. So the first mat that I'll cut is the glitter mat. And I'll go back to Design Space and I'll see where I placed the vinyl, and I'm gonna place it face down on my green mat, and we'll make our glitter vinyl cuts, and then we'll cut the third mat, which is the regular heat transfer vinyl, the tan color. Now I'm just placing my cut glitter heat transfer vinyl shiny side down on the mat where I placed the shapes in Cricut Design Space. And I'm cutting this mat on the glitter vinyl setting with default pressure. And because this is that Caesar glitter, which is so beautiful and a little bit thick, I'm going to repeat the cut one time. Now that the glitter vinyl mats are cut, I'll go ahead and weed out these shapes while I cut the third mat, which is the tan regular heat transfer vinyl. This one I'm cutting using the washi sheet setting, which I like for intricate cuts, but you can also use everyday iron-on or whatever cut settings your vinyl manufacturer recommends. So I've got my little glitter pumpkins and my glitter foam weeded out, and I have the little cup holder out of the tan. So now I have all my shapes cut out. I'm gonna get my heat press and my little pressing pad ready to go, and we'll press and assemble the earrings and attach the earring hooks. So I've got the faux leather shapes cut out, and I have all the vinyl layers weeded, and I like to lay them out sort of in order on my little heat pressing pad. And I have the Easy Press Mini preset to the low setting, which is just the one green bar. If you're using a traditional Easy Press, I would recommend starting at 265 degrees. Faux leather can get too hot and it can bubble, and you don't want that. So we're gonna go a little bit lower on the temperature when we're pressing faux leather with a regular Easy Press. I'll start with the little cardboard cup holder layer, and I'm just going to line that up. You can always refer back to the original SVG if you need to remind yourself of the exact placement of any of the layers. And I have a little Teflon sheet like the kind you use for pressing shirts. I've just trimmed it down to size so it's a little more manageable for earrings. I'm going to cover the earrings and just start to press with the Easy Press. With the Easy Press Mini, I like to move it around like an iron. With the traditional Easy Press, obviously you won't be doing that. You'll just be pressing and holding. I would say press in 7 to 10 second bursts if you're using a larger Easy Press, and then remove the cover sheet and check and see if your vinyl has adhered to the faux leather. So I just carefully peel away. If as you're peeling the vinyl lifts up, that means you need a few more seconds. So just recover with your cover sheet and press again for a few more seconds. Those look good. Let's do the little pumpkin. That's looking pretty good. And now for the little foam, you'll want to make sure that you're lining up the direction that the little foam swirl goes in. You want to make sure you're matching it up to the correct cup. The nice thing about using the SVG with the hole is I have a little hole marked there in the vinyl, so I know exactly where to hole punch with my 1/16 inch hole punch. And there are two little pumpkin spice coffee shapes. I'm going to punch the holes with my 1/16 inch hole punch. I'll open up the jump rings and attach the earring hooks. This 1/16 inch hole punch works like a regular hole punch. It will punch through 2 layers of faux leather at once if you'd like to. I do that sometimes to line up the holes and make sure the hole is placed in the same location on both earrings. If the hole doesn't punch all the way through, just use your little curved scissors to snip off the back. So I'm ready to attach the earring hooks. I have my shepherd hook earring hooks and some 6mm jump rings. The bottom loop on the shepherd hook needs to be turned 90 degrees so that the earrings will hang straight. I have a whole video on how to do this slowly, so if you want to go ahead and watch that, I'll link it for you. But for now, I'll show you quickly. I hold the earring hook in my thumb and my forefinger, and I grip the earring loop and I just twist 1/4 turn. And that changes the direction of the earring loop. Now I'll open up the little jump rings, and I do this by putting the opening of the jump ring facing up, and then I use 2 pair of flat nose pliers. I grip one side of the jump ring with 1 pair of pliers, and with the other hand I grip the other side of the jump ring and I just twist open. And then I just hold on to the jump ring with the pliers while I loop it onto the faux leather shape and attach the earring hook. This takes a little practice if you haven't made earrings before, but just practice and you'll get it. And then I just twist again to close the jump ring. So here are the finished pumpkin spice coffee earrings. Aren't they cute? And if you liked this one and you wanted to see some other ones in my shop, I also have a really cute travel coffee cup. This is a little maple leaf. So if you like fall coffee but not necessarily pumpkin, this is a good option. And I also have this SVG in my shop. This is a cute little coffee mug, and I have the text is part of the SVG, and this really cute printed faux leather is from one of my favorite faux leather suppliers. I'll link to this print in the description for you. I hope you like this project and you're going to make some fall pumpkin spice coffee earrings for yourself. If you love fall Cricut craft projects, I have quite a few that I would love to share with you. So just keep watching and I will have a playlist for you of some of my fall Cricut craft and jewelry favorites. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.